At this point, let's quickly bring the interview I had with Dr. Bell Ihua, who is the Executive Director at Africa Polling Institute. We did take a look at why Nigerians at this time are leaving the shores of the country to move over to Canada, why that is so, and perhaps what can the government do? Because from the interview that I had with him just a few days ago, we have a lot of people moving out, not just people with skills, people that are even, talking about have the means in the country that can even survive in the country, but those people are living with their monies and their skills. Just take a listen to the interview. All right, welcome back. It's the interview segment, and today we will be looking at the Canada rush, not just even the Canada rush. A lot of Nigerians are checking out of the country, like Andrew, checking out of the country to other countries where they are greener pastures. So today we are deconstructing the Canada rush as put together by Africa Polling Institute. I have here Dr. Bell Ihua, who is the Executive Director at Africa Polling Institute, to talk to us about their study on what is motivating Nigerians out of the country, perhaps to Canada and even to other countries. So welcome, Dr. Ihua.
Thank you, Nancy. It's good to be here.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. Quite a number of people have been asking me, we've not seen you on Nancy for a while. When are you going on our show?
like you seriously? Yeah. Really? That they've not seen you on this show?
Seen me on a while. Yeah, wow. On this show for a while. Yeah.
Wow. So he's on here now. I thank you everyone for at least being a part of the program and tuning in every day. Yeah, I'm your biggest fan, so to speak. So, Doctor, nice to have you join us today.
Thanks.
You did a study, that's API did a study, Deconstructing the Canada Rush. I tried to look at it. Just tell me why you even did this study in the first place.
Well, very good question, you see, Nancy. We've been at this for a long time. I think as social researchers, we owe this country a duty to play our own part by always interrogating the system, by always probing to find out what's in the heart of Nigerians. Then, of course, as public opinion pollsters, we are the barometers of the public. We are the barometers of the country and should be the ones asking Nigerians what are the issues affecting them. I mean, recently we've been seeing a trend in the past couple of years now. There's been a trend of people emigrating from Nigeria and going to settle in other parts of the world. And, we thought, should we fold our arms and let this trend go on, or should we take an objective scientific approach to understand and study what is really going on, what's driving this trend of Nigerians emigrating. So we decided to conduct this study. It focused on the Canada, and because quite a number of, people we've been hearing about, you even hear anecdotes of people who've, someone saw me early in the week and told me, 6 guys from my firm left for Canada between January and now, and these are very bright brains. So it just sort of underscores the essence of this study.
So the 6 guys that left, perhaps they even planned it together, so to speak, because...
Well, I don't know, but those were his own, that people from, and any sector you find out, medical, ICT, financial services, and even the entertainment sector, people are trickling out, and it's a trend that we see.
Why do you think that Canada is the destination of choice?
Well, before I take that question, let me back up a bit. So, immigration is not new in Nigeria. Pre-independence to independence, we had some of our founding fathers studying in the UK, in the US, up to the mid-80s. Even 70s, 80s, you hear stories of people who went abroad to study, and they want to keep them back after their study. They say, no, Nigeria, we're going back to our country. The currency was stronger than even the dollar at the time. But when SAP hit in the mid-80s, something happened. People now thought, okay, probably we should move elsewhere. One of the sectors that it really affected that time, if you remember, was the entertainment sector. That's when Venu Marioge sang the Andrew No Check Out, Nigeria Go Survive song. that spanned into the 90s, early 90s, 91. Majek Fashek sang Majek Fashek in New York.
Okay.
And so it's been happening. But what we see now is a new trend of migration where the people who are emigrating are not the poor. They are the employed, highly skilled, highly educated, upwardly mobile Nigerians who in most cases are leaving jobs behind in Nigeria to emigrate to Canada. Take, for example, it cost an average of 1.5 million to process this whole Canada thingy. So to start off the process, you need to do your IALTS. It costs 75,000 to run IALTS. The two adults, father, mother, say, let's take a family of 4. 2 adults, father, mother, 2 children. So father, mother, they run their IALTS, 75,000, 150 gone. They have to do something called the ECA, which is the accreditation of their Nigeria certificate so that it is matched with Canada. It costs 60,000 per person, 120 for the 2 adults gone. You have to renew your passport for the 4 members of the family, 30K each, 120 gone. You have to run medicals for every member of the family, 30K per person. To run the medicals that you need to submit, another 120 gone. Now it comes to the point of doing the actual registration. Actual registration for the application process to emigrate to Canada is 550 Canadian dollars. You have to apply for yourself, your spouse, 2 adults. That's 308,000 gone. Then as you're applying for that as well, you also have to apply for what is called the permanent residency, which is 490 Canadian dollars. Yourself, your spouse, that's another 128,000 naira. 228,000 naira gone. That's aside, then you now need to have some money in your account as proof that you have money. A family of 4, you need to have about 23,000 Canadian dollars. That's about 6.4 million. If it's just 2 people, you need to have between 15 and 16,000 Canadian dollars. That's about 4.5 million. So what we are saying is that the new trend are not poor people. They are people who are in the middle class, upwardly mobile.
Who have the means.
Who have the means to process this.
So what does that say for the country in terms of if the middle class or the upwardly mobile people, those that have the means, are emigrating to Canada? What does it really say?
Well, 2 major things. One is that there are certain things happening in the country which tells them that the country is not heading in the right direction and they need to begin to find a way for themselves. So from this study, we came up with 2 major classes of factors driving this whole immigration process. One is called what we call the push factors. The push factors are those factors that serve as negative effects and that are not making Nigerians happy and making them to consider this move. So one, the first is for better career advancement and job opportunities. Of course, you and I know the economy is currently weak and struggling, and there's so much uncertainty. So that uncertainty, you hear that in this firm or in this sector, 200 people have been let off. In that sector, 150 people have been let off. And news of this begin to filter around, and people are not sure what's going to happen in their own organization next. Would they be next victims? And they have to take the first mover advantage and think, I have to protect myself, safety first. But the second is because of the heightened spate of insecurity. We've been saying it time and time again. I've said it on your show several times. Nigeria is currently experiencing one of the highest incidents of insecurity and violence we've ever experienced in recent times, in the recent history. And we can't take that away. And people are asking themselves, how long do I want to continue in this system where security is deteriorating on a daily basis? Certain corridors in the country, Lagos, Ibadan, Lokoja, Abuja, Kaduna, you go to the
even
east,
Abaji,
Owerri,
yes,
Aba,
that they operate at different times.
You understand, and this is part of what's driving that. Then, of course, you have a third, those who say, we want to leave this country because of the future of our kids. So there are people who say, is this the sort of future I want to raise my kids in, where the life of individuals no longer matter, human lives no longer matter, then you're also looking at the educational system also. We're talking artificial intelligence, we're talking robotics. In 10, 15 years' time, will the educational system be primed to be able to put our children shoulder to shoulder with those in other parts of the world? You begin to ask yourself this question. So we saw from this study that the number of people who even put certain pressure on their spouses, like wives putting pressure on their husband, saying, look at my friend has gone, I chat with her on WhatsApp and she tells me this is what is happening. And let's not make any mistake about it. They are not going there to do odd jobs. These are skilled Nigerians. They are going there to get decent jobs and are having decent jobs.
I was coming to that also in the sense of what kind of jobs are they doing there? Because you see that even some people that immigrate from Nigeria to other countries, before they get that stability, you see them they don't mind doing odd jobs that they would not have done here in the country.
The beauty of this new Canada scheme is, as I said, on the other hand, we also identify what we call the pull factor. The pull factor is what attracts. So Canada has a very favorable immigration policy that sort of attracts brains from all over the world, and Nigeria is no exception. So from our literature review, we found at least 15 different schemes that Canada is using to pull people. I'll give you some example. We have the temporary residency scheme, we have the permanent residency scheme, we have the temporary foreign workers scheme, we have the federal skilled workers program, which is also known as direct entry, express entry, which is really the most common. We have the rural northern program, we have the provincial nominee program, we have the sponsorship, family sponsorship program, we have the refugee and asylum program. When you hear about people crossing in from the United States into Canada and declaring themselves as refugees, we have the refugee, we have the international students program, we have the startup visa program, which means that if you're a business, you have some great business idea, you can apply and they'll give you. So you have the support work scheme for those who want to go and do support work. So there are loads of schemes, and these schemes are point-based, meaning that do you meet certain age group? Do you have your education? Do you have a degree? If you have a degree, it's a point for you. If your spouse has a degree, it's another point for you. Do you have your good scores in IELTS? It's a point for you. So it's transparent, it's point-based. And because of that, Nigerians are taking advantage.
So there's a push because of the challenges we have.
That's right.
And there's a pull from Canada. Come guys, we need all of you, just come.
And what we should understand now is that there's currently a global hunt for talents. All over the world, countries are looking for bright brains, the best minds, and countries will go anywhere to get them. The world, and this is a part of the benefits of globalization. The world as it is today, people are looking to pull the bright brains that will come and help develop their countries and their economy.
Now, when you were doing this sampling or this survey, what was the ratio of men and women you spoke to?
Interestingly, we did speak to quite a number of men. So it was about 63% of those we spoke to were men, and 37% were female. We also spoke to two groups of people. So two groups of those we interviewed. We interviewed prospective migrants to Canada, those who are currently on one stage or the other are applying at different stages. Then we also spoke to Nigerians who are immigrated. Now I'll tell you how we got our data.
Nigerians who are already
in Canada. So for those who are here still in Nigeria, we had to disguise as prospective migrants. We entered into certain WhatsApp groups, certain Telegram groups. In fact, there's a Telegram group on Federal Skilled Migration Program. There's a Telegram group on Northern Migration Program. And while you're on that group, you now begin to post the links of the online survey. Say, please, can you complete this survey? Can you come? In fact, on one of the groups, I was warned, Mr. Man, stop posting your survey. We are interested in traveling out, not filling any survey. And after I continued posting, I was knocked out of the group at some point. So there was one of the groups that has over 5,000 members, Telegram group. There's another one that has over 6,000 members. Same with in Canada, groups like Edmonton, Nigerians in Edmonton, Nigerians in Calgary, Nigerians in Alberta. Those sort of groups we entered, and we tried to share the links of the survey.
So when you spoke to those people that have emigrated, those that are in Canada, what did they say the conditions were like? Because I saw... Yes, I saw...
we did ask them. I
yes.
mean, one of the questions we asked, that's
if Canada have lived up to their expectations.
Retrospect, has Canada lived up to their expectation? I can tell you categorically, 59% of those we spoke with said it has been an excellent decision, their best decision so far. 38% said it's been a good decision so far. We saw only about 2% who said they were still not sure, and 1% who said they actually regretted. So by and large, you have about 97% of those we interviewed who have already emigrated saying it's been a great time. And I'll tell you why. They are not engaged in menial jobs. They are actually engaged in professional jobs. You know, someone told me, say, I'm doing well, I'm doing a very good job, professional job. My spouse is also doing a great job. And our children are in good schools. We don't even pay for the schools. They're in very good school. We live in a safe and secure community. We can sleep with our 2 eyes closed. We don't need to panic and wonder what is going to happen next. There's energy, there's power 24 hours. We don't need to try to wonder before they take the light, let's go and press our address. You know, what's life expectancy all about? That's what it is. The longer you can live is determined by your peace of mind. And so this is what's driving this. But we observe some social demographic differences. So we found out that those between the ages of 18 to 35 were more interested in leaving Nigeria to further their education and for career advancement. However, those between the ages of 36 and 60 were much more concerned about the state of insecurity in the country and about providing a better future for their family. So we see that family is driving a lot of this.
Yeah, because also in your survey, you asked, how did they first hear about migrating to Canada?
Almost half of them, about 47% of them, heard about it from family and friends. About 28% heard about it through social media. And about 23% did their own personal research, go online at night, burning data and Googling and searching for themselves what's happening. And,
Is there, with this, because I know sometimes I ask you this question too, that the survey that you've done now, have you intimated governments, for example, even Diaspora Commission,
yes,
some other agencies of government, like even Senate or National Assembly committees?
So we've sent out letters to all, major government institutions, Foreign Affairs, Diaspora Commission, Senate Senate President's Office, Deputy Senate President's Office, Speaker and Deputy Speaker's Office, even to the Presidency. We sent out letters where we are hoping to share the findings of this data. It's important that you don't just conduct a study of this nature and keep it on a shelf somewhere. And that's why we're doing what we're doing by coming here to disseminate, so that they either hear through this platform, and we are, of course, making inroads to go present the data and the findings to them.
The question now, I'm trying to equate the gains and perhaps the demerits, in the sense that, would you rather have high-skilled talent Nigerians leave to Canada or to other countries? Would you rather have them leave, or when they've left, they send in remittances? So I hope you understand my question.
Yeah, I do.
In terms of where do we gain? Yes, where do we gain the most? Should we keep our high-skilled people, talented people here to diversify the economy and all of that, do what we're supposed to do to keep them, or let's allow them to go and they send in dollars back to us?
So I'll tell you. CBN released a report in 2018 saying that Nigerians in diaspora remitted 25 billion in 2018. And this was compared to 2017 when Nigerians in diaspora remitted $22 billion. I'm talking dollars now, not naira. So between 2017 and 2018, there was an additional $3 billion added to remittances. What does that tell you? That tells you that, it's a booming I mean, we benefit, the economy, the country benefits from remittances. We also ask the question to those who have traveled, do you send money home? 81% of those who are currently in Canada say they send money home. How often? 42% say they send money home monthly. You know, it reminded me of the study we did on irregular migration some years ago, when we traveled to Benin and Agbo. If you go to Benin, you find out that the queue for Western Union money transfer is longer than any other queue in the bank. So there are families in Nigeria whose monthly or daily sustenance is dependent on a relative that lives outside this country. So we ask them, so the monies you send, what are they used for? They're used for family upkeep. About 57% are used for charity. Some have building projects going on. Some have businesses. And of course, some are supporting education. So I hear you. We need those remittances to continue coming. However, if the critical intelligentsia, if I may use that word, the critical mass of our knowledge economy decides to relocate elsewhere, who will do the critical thinking in-house? Take, for example, and again, I gave this anecdote. I said, a doctor who have gotten to maybe registrar level or a consultant at a teaching hospital here in Nigeria earns about 120,000 naira a month. His colleague in Canada earns an equivalent of 1.5 million naira to 2 million naira monthly. Doctors in Gombe are currently on strike. Doctors in Abuja are currently on strike for 2 months of salaries that have not been paid. So much as one wants to be patriotic, at some point you begin to consider these factors. I've not earned salaries for 2 months. Yes. I'm hearing my colleagues who are in Canada are earning 2 million a month. I need to start thinking about this. So we're not just seeing the medical sector, we are seeing the ICT, we are seeing financial services, we are seeing even the creative sector. So when it comes to handling very serious medical surgery in this country, and all our consultants are porting, what's going to happen to us?
You know, it's not really a very good situation. Bearing in mind, I think just some months ago, that a certain minister did say people are not moving out, that he's not bothered if people are moving out in a sector that is really necessary, a sector that needs so much rehabilitation, in fact, rejigging the health sector. Yes. I mean, it's just the health sector. There's no dancing around it. It's our country first, the health sector. So you're seeing a lot of people, I've even seen a lot of people in the health sector move. I mean,
Nancy, remember the study I did in 2017 that found that 8 out of every 10 Nigerian medical doctor was checking out. Yes. And it's still, it's still happening. Yeah, it's still happening.
You know, but the question, even as we end the program today, is, especially you can't go without me asking about this COVID-19, because that's what is really happening at this point. You see that a lot of health authorities, a lot of health systems are challenged right now, and our own health system is not as sophisticated. You see countries like US, Canada, Europe that have even better advanced health system challenged at this point, and this is not the kind of thing we should be having right now. What do you think?
So I take it from two perspectives. One is the fact that countries are investing heavily into support systems for COVID, not just around the health system or health sector, but even outside the health sector, as they know the impact of the COVID-19 can impact the entire economy and the entire country. So, for example, I'm told that in areas in Texas, the government is even putting policies in place because they've asked people to sit at home. And you know how it works abroad. If you sit at home for a few days, it means you can't meet up with your mortgage for that month. Yes. So the government is now putting a law in place to help people pay their mortgages for the next 2-3 months until they watch how the system is.
They're even giving direct cash payments.
Exactly, direct cash payments. So Canada, for example, has committed a billion Canadian dollars into this whole process. So you see from all over the world that economies, countries are Putin are investing. I guess, given that our finances in the country currently is low, that's why we had this reduction in the pump price of fuel as a way to alleviate, in some ways, what is happening. But by and large, what we see is that COVID-19 would have significant implication of the economy of countries, and only countries who have a solid economy will be able to resist the impact of COVID. Unfortunately, our economy is weak, and so it will take a lot more. It will require a lot more to get that competent standard.
It's really, it's something that I don't even want to imagine in terms of, okay, if we're able to wriggle out of this situation, what even happens? Are we going to see more Andrews check out, in the sense that, okay, how do we even handle this and all of that? But
I'll give you an instance. So I realized, or I discovered that it's only in Nigeria that we did not keep up with the precautions, post-Ebola precautions. So, during Ebola, they will say, sanitize your hand, wash your hands. But after Ebola, that kind of went silent. In every other neighboring country, I visited Liberia, I visited Sierra Leone, I visited Ghana, they all still have their processes in place. Wash your hands as you come into the airport, sanitizers everywhere, in the hotel, sanitizers everywhere, from that Ebola time till now.
But we went to sleep here.
So it's, again, begins to talk about our own health systems and how we can pass this information to ensure that this goes on. Even if we're able to combat COVID-19, what happens post-COVID?
COVID-19, yes. That's why I said, that's why I actually said earlier, I don't want to think of it. It's unimaginable. And we need critical thinkers that are leaving to Canada to do such kind of thinking for the rest of us. But what are your concluding remarks as perhaps on this study and what we should begin to do ASAP,
So 3 things for us. One is the fact that Nigerians are checking out, if we may use that word, to Canada. We must realize that certain people in Canada said to themselves, it's our responsibility to make our country work and to make our country a beautiful bride where others can come to. So it's our responsibility as Nigerians to say we must continue engaging the system. That's why we do what we do, because people have asked me, what are you gaining from this? What are you benefiting from doing all this research? No, we must continue engaging the system. We must continue through our own, you are doing yours through your outlet, we are doing our own research. We must continue bringing out this data. It's our responsibility to make Nigeria work. 2 is the fact that the economy is really weak. A lot more needs to be done. A lot more needs to be done to jumpstart this economy. I was reading yesterday that for CBN loans on CBN schemes, they've been sort of a cut from 9 to 5. But now it should move beyond just CBN loan schemes to the entire country, and that's what's happening elsewhere. So deposit money banks, commercial banks, CBN should also, reach out to them and see how we can. Of course, they've said they should give funding to the pharmaceutical industry, but at what rate?
Will it come?
Would they be willing to go and collect if they know that the interest rate will be 20-something%? So the economy, a lot needs to be done to. Then finally, the security. I think our military generals, our security chiefs, need to understand that the current security architecture is not working. There needs to be something to rejig the economy, the current security architecture, and make it effective, such that Nigerians, the average Nigerians, can sleep with their 2 eyes closed and not wonder what is going to happen next. Are we waiting for another fire onslaught at Abule Ado? Are we waiting for another? Where innocent children who are in school can be affected because of negligence.
Yes.
So there's
and
a lot
we're just doing as if nothing is happening.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much. All right, I've been speaking with Dr. Bell Ihua. We've been looking at the study as released by Africa Polling Institutes on Deconstructing the Canada Rush. He's the executive director at API. That's the much we can take today on the program. Be the best you can be the change you want to see. But just before I go, like I've been saying, wash your hands with soap and water. With soap and water for at least 20 seconds, not just do like this. No, I know what I'm saying, it is deliberate. Wash your hands with soap and water. If you can't get soap and water, sanitize your hands and make sure that the sanitizer has above or at least 60% alcohol. That's based alcohol. The alcohol base is about 60%. The other thing, social distancing. Social distancing. I'll see you all again. I am Nnaji. Bye now.